I've known some butte birds in my time, some really spunky Sheilas. I've had some grand shags. And as I sit here raging against the dying of the light, these memories are a great comfort to me in my old age. Remember, there was this one girl, I'll call her Semi. I met her at a Shabbat dinner Friday night. And at that time in my life I didn't really have much socially going on during the week. So when Shabbat came along and I was set up with a Shabbat meal, I was like really happy, and I was a little over the top. So came along to this Friday night meal, and there's this attractive brunette across the table from me. I like really prim, proper, demure brunettes. Like very chaste and modest girls. And then, I like to get their clothes off and get in touch with their inner tiger and like gradually break them down and degrade them. At least I did until I converted to Orthodox Judaism. Anyway, back at this time I didn't really understand the profundity of the Torah the way I do now. And so I look at this girl across the table, and she looked about 28. I said, "So where do you go to high school?" She got all flushed, and like she really got a kick out of that. She said she didn't go to high school, and she didn't even go to college anymore. She graduated from graduate school and all that. So she later asked me, "Did you really think that I was in high school?" And I said no, and she said, "Men lie." So we ended up going out, and I think the first time we went out, took her to a Torah lecture. So she was kind of like me in that she was like exploring Orthodox Judaism, but she'd been raised, fairly liberal. And the second time I took her to a Friday night Shabbat dinner. And I kind of had a problem at this time because I was writing on the porn industry. That's how I made my living. So how do you tell a girl you're dating what you do? So I told her I read about sex scandals and the like. So I didn't exactly lie, but I didn't say porn. So I said it was like the Pamela Anderson sex tape that had come out. That's how I sold myself. And so we came back from that Friday night dinner, and I brought her back here to the hovel and brought her inside, and I kissed her for the first time. We lay down on my bed, we started making out. We didn't go all the way, but it was a good start. Then that week I took her to the movie Wag the Dog. And we were going to have dinner before, but we didn't have much time, so we went to the salad bar at like Ralph's. And then we sat in my beat up old vehicle and sat there eating a salad before the movie, which she'd already seen. And so she found it kind of a downer, like having to get dinner at Ralph's and then sit in my old van. So we watched the movie, which she'd seen once already, wasn't that jazzed about. And we went back to her place, and she tried to get me off with her mouth, and for whatever reason it wasn't working. And and I got up early next morning because I had to go daven and put on tefillin and go to shul. And she kind of liked it that I got up early every morning, put on tefillin and went to shul. And but that day it was a bit of a downer for us, so we talk on the phone, and she says, I'm going away to Europe for 3 weeks, and don't wait for me because we're not going anywhere. Okay. So she goes away to Europe, and about 3 weeks later I break my left wrist playing flag football with my Reform temple at the time. And it was kind of traumatizing, and I'd made a really bad impression on that Friday night dinner where I'd met her because I was just so exuberant, and I'd sat in the host chair much of the night. This is like a traditional Hasidic family, and so I'd been a bit over the top, but I think I'd hit it off well with the woman of the house. She liked me, so I called and left a message and saying, I've broken my wrist, and lost Pamela's phone number, and so anyway, Pamela calls me, and yeah, and she liked it that I'd broken my wrist. It made me seem more, I don't know, it made her much more affectionate, and we ended up going all the way, and it probably wouldn't have happened if I hadn't broken my wrist. Like, I had a big old cast on it and had to kind of keep it elevated, and she liked it that I was wounded. And but we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. But she liked it when I got on TV and when I was interviewed on the radio. She'd stay out in her car at night and listen to my interview on the radio. Every time I got in a major newspaper or on TV, she'd give me a shag. But we weren't really going anywhere. One of the last movies we saw was that Holocaust movie about the father, an Italian movie, kind of father and son go to the Holocaust, and the father tries to convince the son it's all a big game and tries to entertain the son through the Holocaust. Then we came back here and we shagged, and it didn't seem quite right to be shagging after a Holocaust movie. I think what I remember best, most keenly, most painfully is we were at my Reform temple, and she stayed for lunch and afterwards on Shabbat, and then she got up to leave, said goodbye, and I said, walk you out, and I was like walking her out. She said, don't bother. I don't want people to think we're together. And she could pick up that I wasn't very popular at my Reform temple, and so she kind of didn't want that rubbing off on her. So never went anywhere. I remember once she was kind of sad about it. We talked on the phone, and she said, I never got to show you off. She thought I was a good-looking guy. Ended up running into her. I helped her move, probably somewhere around year 2000. And I think I ran into her Friday Night Live, like 2002, once. And I think I called or emailed her soon after and said, hey, do you think we should try dating again? And she said no. And that's about it. I haven't seen her for probably 7 or 8 years. But those memories are a comfort to me in my old age.